In 2018, Stewart HAAS Racing was on top of the sport. All four cars were legitimate threats to sneak into the Final Four. Their best driver, Kevin Harvick, was making it to the championship after a dominant 8-win season. That was just a dominant, historic season. I mean, I know he wasn't the only one to do so, but still, that was just a dominant season. But 2 years later, SHR has kind of regressed. They aren't at the top of the sport like they were, and it was a pretty quick decline. They're still a top tier team, but nowhere near the level of success that we came to expect after 2018.
Lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about SHR Stewart HAAS Racing's kind of decline from 2018 to where they are now. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm not saying they're junk, ass cheeks, whatever. They're still a top tier team. They're still one of the best teams. They can still go out there and win races and championships. All I'm saying is when you look at 2018 and how that entire team was really a championship contender, I could have definitely seen Clint Bowyer or Kurt Busch sneaking their way into the championship for even Eric Almirola as well. I could see all those guys doing that, but they went from being easily one of the best, with Joe Gibbs, of course, or maybe even you can argue that they were better than Joe Gibbs that season, from just being, back down on the level of, that of Hendrick and Penske and Chip Ganassi. They went from being the top of the sport to just with the other guys. And I want to go ahead and kind of give a little highlight to this and let you guys know what I think about SHR's future. So I do have a couple things I want to talk about, or just one thing really. I want to apologize for no race recap after Bristol. My computer took a dump. If you guys saw my Twitter, if you guys follow my Twitter, which is down below in the description, if you guys want to go follow that. But yeah, I said my computer took a 2-hour-long shit, finally recorded it, and then it decided the voice, hopefully it doesn't do it for this one, would be about 5 seconds back from the video. So I just gave up. If you guys want to hear my thoughts, Chase Elliott is an idiot. What the hell was that? But it happens, mistakes happen, and he was being a little bit of a pussy there, not talking to Joey Logano, but it's whatever. I'm not really looking too much into that. I'm not going to let one situation make me hate the guy. So he's obviously my favorite driver, and yeah, Brad Keselowski can't get a win on his own. Yeah, there has to be something else. And I think I rated it like an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It was definitely one of the better races, if not the best race of the season. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into today's video. I want to start by reminding you just how good Stewart HAAS Racing was in 2018. You can easily point out Harvick's 8-win season as a part of the Big Three, but the team had a whole lot of success as just an entire team. The lineup in 2018 looked like this: Kevin Harvick in the 4, Eric Almirola in his first season and good equipment and driving the 10 car, Clint Bowyer in the 14, and Kurt Busch piloting the 41. The Stewart HAAS Racing drivers would find a lot of success and be in victory lane quite a bit in the 2018 season, as Clint Bowyer would get in there twice, Eric Almirola and Kurt Busch once, and Kevin Harvick a lot of times. But if we look at all their success together, here are their 2018 stats. 12 wins, which is almost 1/3 of the 2018 season, or just really any season. 42 top 5s and 84 top 10s. What a dominant season right there. If you look at the stats of that of Joe Gibbs, which is probably the only other team that was close to him that season, they had 9 wins, 44 top 5s, so yes, they had more top 5s, and 72 top 10s. SHR and Joe Gibbs were clearly the two most dominant figures in 2018, and they looked poised to continue this domination heading into 2019. But then, something changed. 2019 would bring about a lot of changes for not just SHR, but NASCAR in general. The 2019 package was introduced and forced teams to figure out new ways to make the car fast. SHR also saw a consistent veteran in Kurt Busch jump ship to go race at Chip Ganassi Racing, and to replace him was Daniel Suarez, who moved to SHR in favor of MTJ, who went to Joe Gibbs. Smart move by Gibbs, by the way. Suarez was the opposite of Kurt Busch, as he was a young, unproven driver who underperformed in top-tier equipment to this point in his career. This was seen and proved to be his last chance in top-tier equipment, and while everyone gives Suarez hate for underperforming, I do want to point out he had identical stats to Eric Almirola last season. Suarez had 4 top 5s, just 1 more than Almirola, and 11 top 10s, 1 less than the 10 car. The only thing that separated them was Eric Almirola's round of 16 playoff effort, and I had been defending Almirola a lot in 2019, but after looking at these stats, I'm honestly retracting. I don't know if I just never looked at it, but they were pretty bad. Harvick was still a championship favorite, but had a hard start to the season. I don't even know if he got top 10 at the beginning, and wasn't as consistent as he was in the year prior. To be fair, his 2018 season was historic, and I don't think there was really, it was just like almost impossible to replicate it anyways. But it was a fall from grace on the last season, as he was the only SHR car to win a race in 2019, winning 4. Clint Bowyer was still the second best driver. He had a serviceable season, and it wasn't as good as 2018, but it wasn't awful. It was just a serviceable season, and SHR as a whole, though, was not nearly as dominant as last season. The 2019 stats for Stewart HAAS Racing looked like this: only 4 wins, all of them Kevin Harvick, 29 top 5s, and 67 top 10s. Clearly a shell of their former success in 2018. I mean, again, these are not bad stats by any way, shape, or form, but when you compare it to 2018, these are definitely a downgrade. I didn't expect them to have as good as a season as they did in 2018. This is a pretty sizable fall. But I do want to point out, if you're curious about the math, 4 wins is 1/12 of the season. I don't know if you really care, but I just wanted to point that out because I'm good at math, guys. I can do math. So what happened to Stewart HAAS Racing in that one short off-season between 2018 and 2019? Some people point to the departure of Kurt Busch, which I agree with. If Kurt stayed, he would have likely had a season similar to Clint Bowyer had in 2019, but brought more race-to-race consistency than Daniel Suarez. But that's only speculation, and considering the entire team saw a dip in performance, it's fair to say Kurt would have as well. In my opinion, Chip Ganassi and Kurt are a perfect fit anyways, so I'm happy that he left, but I don't think Kurt caused the entire team to tank. It's not like he made the cars for Clinton Harvick, but I'm sure he did share valuable info with them, but again, it shouldn't cause for the entire team to tank. Possibility is the 2019 package, and this is what I think is the main reason for their issues. I think they kind of have a, kind of grasp on the package now, but they haven't been the same since it was instated. Harvick is obviously going to win races and be fast in whatever you put him in, but even he struggled at the beginning of the season in 2019, and the rest have followed suit and didn't recover in the way Harvick did. To clarify, I think this is the reason why. I think the 2019 package, they just haven't been the same since. I think this really, for whatever reason, this caused whether the engineers or whatever just wasn't able to grasp it. They haven't been able to find the same speed that they had back in 2018, and like I said, I think the 2019 package was the cause of it. So what about the future of SHR? I will say it's a little murky, but I think there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see any scenario where they become a mid-tier team or anything like that. But Harvick will be around for a couple years, and is on the wrong side of 40, which means, Father Time he's going to come calling at some point. He's undefeated. But, he still has plenty of time. He could pull a Mark Martin and just race till he's like 60 or something like that. No offense to Mark Martin, just saying, how old you were. So I wouldn't be surprised. Harvick would be the one to do it, but he's still here. He's going to be here for a while and be a championship contender. Who knows? Maybe he grabs a second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, seventh one. Who knows? Clint Bowyer, he has been written off to join Fox's broadcast next year, and as much as I would love to see him in there, I think he still has some good years left in him, and I think it's kind of too soon to write him off. But if he stays, I won't be surprised, and I just want to say I'd love to see him in the Fox broadcast and make it 20 million times more interesting. And please, I'm legitimately asking you, Clint Bowyer, please retire so you can be in the Fox broadcast. Okay, let's move on. But Cole Custer, he's been pretty awful to start this season. Just 1 top 10 in 8 races. But I think it'd be dumb of the team. Or has it been 8? It's been 9. I'm sorry. It's been 9. I'm sorry. That's my bad. It's my bad. But I think it'd be dumb of the team to drop him after just 1 bad season. But if he doesn't improve next season, maybe, just maybe. It did take him 3 seasons to become a championship contender in the Xfinity Series, but you know, I'm sure they're a little impatient. I guess they waited on, you know, Danica Patrick for a while, but I don't think there's ever any doubt of her, you know, not or getting it. Okay, I don't think there's anybody out there saying she's going to get better. But anyways, if he doesn't improve next season, we could see him get the boot. But finally, Aric Almirola is a free agent this season, and honestly, I'm starting to question whether he's going to return to the 10. He obviously has that Smithfield sponsorship, which is going to help him a lot, but unless there's an unforeseen surge where Aric Almirola just goes crazy, it's not out of the question. I think he's very talented, but we haven't really seen anything insane out of him, and I don't really expect to see anything any more insane. So, especially when you factor in the free agent class we have this year, it's probably the most stacked I've ever seen. It doesn't look well for Aric Almirola. If somebody like Eric Jones or Brad Keselowski, we know Kyle Larson's obviously out there. If those guys are available and are willing to go to SHR, I don't see how Aric Almirola can compare. You can maybe compare him to Eric Jones, but at the same time, Eric Jones has a higher upside, and to be quite fair, he has been better than Almirola. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't move him there. But all in all, I'm not saying Almirola is not talented. I'm just saying he needs to perform. It's a contract year. You see it in all sports. It's a contract year. It's time to clutch up. It's time to, you know, get some finishes. A win, I think, would definitely help a lot, but we don't know if that'll ever happen. But it doesn't seem like it. Seems very hard for Almirola to win, because he's had fast cars, don't get me wrong. He's had races where he's been the fastest car, but mistakes happen. So we'll just have to wait and see how the season goes. If it goes well, I'd say he stays, but if not, don't be surprised if somebody like Eric Jones gets kicked out of JGR, goes to SHR, Brad Keselowski goes there instead of Hendrick or Penske, and we all know that Kyle Larson is the most documented driver to you know, be the next SHR driver. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I'm sorry, Aric Almirola fans, but I do have a sense that he's going to be kicked out. But if he does well, you can't really kick him out if he's doing well. So he needs to make it to where he looks unreplaceable by his superiors. But something we're just going to have to wait and see. That is all I have for today. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and comment down below your guys' thoughts. I'm sure you guys have some thoughts on this one. Do you think I'm overreacting? Is Stewart HAAS just fine? Have they been fine? Did they not just see a dip in performance in 2019, or what happened? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the future of SHR. Do you think Cole Custer is going to be able to keep his ride? Do you think Aric Almirola is going to stay? If not, who do you think is going to replace them? Do you think Clint Boyer is going to head to the Fox booth? How long do you think? There's a lot to talk about here, so comment down below all your guys' thoughts on that stuff right there. And yeah, we're getting close to the first 1/3 of the season being over. I do plan on doing a little recap to this point on kind of where the playoff standings stand and what I think will happen throughout the course. I'll probably do that. We'll do that around race 13, I'd say, because that's kind of the halfway point, or I guess 15 is kind of the halfway point. I don't know. Math is hard, okay? But we're almost there. We're getting close to no, we're not even close to the playoffs. We have a long ways to go. Which is great. We don't want to get to the playoffs. That means the season's almost over. But that's enough rambling for me. I do want to point out, though, that Stewart HAAS Racing has been pretty good this year. Kevin Harvick has been the best driver so far, even though he has just one win, but he's been the most consistent easily. So we need to, yeah, I'm probably going to be completely wrong in this video, and probably they'll go out there and win all the rest of the races of the season and win 2/3 of the races. So shout out to them for that. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.